Hi, I'm Jacquetta. I'm a digital artist based in London. I'm originally from Scotland, in Glasgow, but I've been living in London for the last 5 years. I primarily work in digital minimalist line drawing artworks with lots of colour, mainly doing faces and creating artworks. My background is pretty creative. Both my parents are artists. I come from a very creative family. My dad does photography and art dealing, and my mum does textile art. So I always was in this creative world. There's always loads of artwork in our family home, and we're always hosting exhibitions in the house. And I just felt like the art world was for me, so I went to art school at Duncan of Johnson in Scotland, Dundee, which was an amazing experience for 4 years, where I actually specialised more along the lines of video and photography, but still very digital, and I always kept up my sketching and my abstract faces on the side. I wouldn't say that my upbringing is a sort of specific reference point for my art. I think I'm heavily influenced by a lot of artists, but my mum works a lot with colour in her fabrics, and I think I was very influenced by her use of colour. She uses loads of vibrant layered colours, and that's how I like to work. And then I'm inspired by sort of the abstraction of the face and sort of the portraiture, so I'm quite into obviously Picasso, Jean Cocteau, that kind of style, which my parents had a Jean Cocteau illustration in our house growing up as kids, and I always remember it, and I think that had a huge influence on my work. My biggest influences have to be my parents. They've just been super, super supportive about me doing art, really encouraging of it. And always kind of keeping me in the art world, so they've influenced me in that regard. But then, I'm just influenced by loads of different artists. I like to listen to music when I make art, or a lot of the time I'm just drawing when I'm doing something else. So say I'm watching TV, then I'll just have my iPad out and I'll do some drawings. If I'm on a plane or a train, I always bring my sketchbook with me, so I'll put my headphones in, listen to a podcast and do some drawing to pass the time. It's like a multitasking thing that I do. I don't really ever sit in silence and focus on it because it's such a natural thing for me. It's not something I have to plan. I've tried a lot of unconventional mediums and techniques. For example, I've tried drawing on leaves, on fruit skins, on anything that I can possibly draw on, glass, fabric, just whatever. If I see anything that's like a plain unbroken surface, that's like an itch for me to just draw all over it. So I think that's pretty unconventional. I think I would tell myself to share your art more. I wish I'd done it sooner. I have stacks and stacks of sketchbooks of artworks that I've been drawing for decades, and I only just started my Instagram to sort of put my work out there a couple of years ago, and I really wish I'd actually put my art out there earlier, because it's just so nice getting feedback and sharing it with people. The biggest challenge of being an artist is probably getting your work out there. I think it's so easy to just sit around and draw and get so absorbed in the enjoyment and the process and the moment, but really getting your work out into the world, getting it seen by people is super, super difficult because there's so many really talented artists out there, and it's just hard to get spotted. At the moment, I'm actually focusing a lot more on collaborations, so working with brands and working at events to bring my art to life. So illustrating on tote bags, for example, which I did recently with a jewellery brand as they launched in London. Kind of incorporating my art more into a lifestyle side of things. Right now, I love Frances McGurn. She is a Scottish artist who's doing really well, and she does kind of like line painting, females, very, very gorgeous colours. And then I just love Matisse, for example. His kind of faces are beautiful and brilliant, in my opinion. And then, as I said, Picasso, Jean Cocteau, like the sort of abstract vibe that you see across a lot of artworks is main inspiration to me. The best reaction, I mean, I've had so many lovely reactions to my artwork, which means so much, but I think having people tattoo my art to them has been like the ultimate compliment, knowing that people like my work so much that they're committing to it on their body forever. So yeah, for me, that was the biggest compliment and the best reaction I could possibly get. I mean, I love to think that people get something out of art, regardless of the kind of art that it is, and regardless of how interested or into art they are. But with mine, I feel like mine is a little bit more accessible, playful. It's very obvious what it is. So I just hope people enjoy the colours and the lines, and it just brings them joy to look at. I hope they just feel good looking at my art. That's what I want them to take away from it.